And we are live with Tell Us About Yourself with our guest, Evie Fresh, and our special guest host today, the Big Guy. How are both of you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing today, Mr. Foxworthy?
I'm doing pretty good, adapting to the changing situations of hosts and stuff. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, as always, I miss Dustin, but
Yes, I agree.
and my thoughts go
Dustin, I'm
out to
pretty
him
sure
and his
you're going to be
family.
watching this. I'm going to say, I hope everything goes all right with everything. I know things are looking tough, but we'll try to move this show going, and we all love you, man. LFF, love for family.
That's right, baby. And I appreciate the you guys letting me come on and continue the hashtag super co-host is running wild, baby.
Yeah, man. So, before we get into questions, and while I am setting things up, because usually Dustin's the one that starts all the questions for me while I do stuff. Ken Fouché is actually donating a Alien Invader foil set, so I'm going to be setting that raffle up in a minute for people in the crowd.
Oh, very nice, very nice.
Very nice.
But while I do that, let me start with the first question, and why don't you tell us how you got into the game?
So I started out the game at PAX Unplugged 2018. This was day 2 because I wasn't at day 1. I was playing like other games like Star Realms and Magic, but at day 2 I was kind of more just walking around the show floor, like the showcase area, with others being with walking with others, and then one of my friends comes over to me while we were kind of like at a rest stop area. And we were just, and he come. Some people may know him. He's Andy Rossi, also known as the guy who threw Shady Jeff on the ground that one time in that one promo that we did. He came over to me and he's like, "Hey, there's this wrestling card game that's over here," and I'm like, "Really?" And we both went over, and it was like, "Hey, would mind showing me?" And we just walked over there. I got demoed with GM Calais. And that pretty much was there. And then I participated in the tournament for PAX Unplugged, the singles event. I know the Babata is going to be in here, so I already know he's going to start laughing because he always comes up about that. So I participated in the event. I originally signed up as Johnny Gargano, but there was like 5 other Johnny Garganos in the event, so I was like, yeah, I should probably switch out to someone else. And I was like, man, I should play Kid Fresh. I think he looked pretty cool, and I like the idea of getting a finisher so early in the game if you roll agility. I just really like that. And also like the idea of like a 1-2-3 kid type thing.
Right.
And then I think first round I beat like an Alien Invader player. Second round I lost to Bombada using the Italian Bombada. Like, I also faced someone we know as JVD. He was using EC3, and I won that match. I went on to go 4-1 in the event. Then we go to top 16. There was a 5-0 that was at the event, which was Eric Bubba Williams. He went 5-0 with Papa Wheelie, and I was talking with him and Warren Skinner, also known as Stylo. We were just talking about different things, talking about the game, because we were all just new at that point. And he was able to call someone out. He called me out because he knew what I was playing because I talked with what I was playing. I proceeded to win that game, going into top 8. Then I get paired up with the Italian Bata again, and then I lose again. Basically, the Italian Bata beat me. Was the only losses I had during the singles event.
So in other words, he told you to forget about it.
Well, the Big Guy's pretty well known for helping put the newer players over.
Yeah, you know.
In his own way.
Yeah, like I would say, like Babata has definitely been my biggest mentor in this community. Someone that has always been on my, always been there to support me and all that stuff. Like when I was the first person to be asked to be a part of Impact, and it was all because of him. He was like, "Hey, how about we suggest this guy? He hasn't learned how to really play the game, but he's got a lot of potential." And ever since then, he's just been there for me at every through thick and thin. So I really have to thank Chris on that.
Okay. So, you've been in the game for a while, and I'm going to segue this into a question a little bit afterwards that we got that. So, what was the process of getting your, of building your character, or the Phoenix, the competitor card, and, like, the persona for it?
Okay, so when I would actually go with the character first, because I would think you would want to go with the character first before you go with a gimmick, because you don't want to base your idea just around a gimmick. You want to build your character. At the time, there was way too many bad guys in the game. Like, every single time there was a bad guy everywhere. And I was like, you know what? Since there's way too many bad guys, how about I make a good guy persona that, like the saying was, whenever I get knocked down, I get right back up. So with the Phoenix was just a car idea that we had. It was myself and JVD. We were in the back of a car getting some food or something. And I was like, hey, thinking in my head, I'm like, how about the Phoenix? The Phoenix sounds like a cool idea. It's like, it's not really that really used, and it really works with the idea. And with the competitor that I've had, I was like, I wanted to do something where if I lose a turn, I get something. Mm-hmm. So I was like, originally it was like, whenever you lose the turn roll, your next turn roll is +1. But we got to Steve got it changed to being power, technique, and strike being +1, because those are the warm colors.
Right.
And it just makes sense. And that's pretty much how the Phoenix was pretty much made. Also, the Eevee Fresh part of it is just, Eevee is just because that's a part of my first name, which is Everett. And the Fresh was just because before I became the Phoenix, I just called myself Kid Fresh because that's all I played, or that's what I was known for. And I was like, you know what? Instead of me just writing off the Kid Fresh thing, I'm just going to correlate Kid Fresh into my name as the last name of my competitor.
I was going to ask that because I kind of figured you played off of the Kid Fresh. And when I first joined, I actually thought Kid Fresh was your character.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
So... Yeah, that whole thing was I was going with the moniker Kid Fresh, but then I got contacted by I think it was High Roller, because Kid Fresh is his son. So I was like, yeah, do you mind switching your name to something else? I was like, yeah, 100%. I completely understand. I don't want to take someone else's gimmick, especially a child's gimmick, from someone else. Yeah. So that would have not looked good. Then that's kind of where the whole build myself up to be the Phoenix.
So are you going to do the thing, or are we just going to sit here for a while? I mean, we were waiting now, and we still haven't seen the thing yet.
I did it earlier, but I'll do it again for you.
There it is. There it is.
All right. So that question was a segue into Young Allergy's question of what events turned Phoenix to the darker Shadow Phoenix?
So there wasn't any. So Shadow Phoenix isn't the whole thing with the Shadow Phoenix was there had to be something where I had a leeway, or you had to find ways to reinvent a character, and the Phoenix is a bad guy isn't really a thing. Right. So the whole idea with the Shadow Phoenix, there was no event that I would become the Shadow Phoenix. Not yet, but right now I'm still the Phoenix. I still try to portray myself as a good babyface, but now more of I am more so now going against the powers that be, because I want justice to be served. So the Shadow Phoenix was just an idea that was you know what, if I become a bad guy, it's because I was losing too much and I can't stand losing. So I decided to join up with Mad One and Dr. Jake Hill, which gave me a potion to make me stronger and much more of a grappler, basically turning myself into a berserk mode type deal. And instead of it being whenever I get knocked out, I get back up, the whole moniker is death comes for us all. So right now, no events have become Shadow Phoenix. It might be some point in the future, but not right now. Okay.
Young Allergy also followed it up with, did Kid Fresh inspire you to have high agility on both the Phoenixes?
So the Kid Fresh thing was like the high agility and like the high like honestly the only reason I really put like high technique and high agility was
Those are great stats to have high.
yes, because at the time the best cards in the game were like Full Nelson and 718,
Okay.
and I was like, originally my stats were going to be 10 agility, 9 technique, but then I changed it to being 10 technique because at that time there were not many 10 technique competitors. And originally it was like I had an 8 power and a 7 submission, but then those two got switched around because Impact Bomb came out.
Mm-hmm.
So there was no way I would be, because they John P. and Bada decided to put me on the art of Impact Bomb. I was like, well, now I have to switch, since my compare hasn't come out yet, I'm going to switch my power and submission to be 7 and 8.
Yeah. Well, the art of that card didn't age well.
Yeah.
So, Ken Fouché would like to know, other than your own competitors, who are your favorite competitors right now?
So I've been, so besides my own, there are 2 competitors that I've really liking. One of them is King Pink, which other people haven't seen me play King Pink at some events. And even King Pink really likes it. I've been topping with the competitor. The other competitor that I've been really liking is Robbie G. I think he's a very fun idea for, like, even in singles. Like, I played like The Brain, I've played some other people with Robbie G, and they're like, man, this deck is actually like really cool. It's really good. I was like, yeah, I really enjoy those 2 decks a lot.
All right, and we have a question in the Zoom room from the Italian Bombada.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Evie, one quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Your moniker's the Phoenix. Why do you look like a chicken?
Leave it to the horse.
Yep, of course. That I knew that was going to be
horse, of
coming
course,
up.
yes.
Yeah, I figured that was going to be coming up. Like, the whole idea for the costume, I wanted it to be, I wanted it to be warm colors. I think I should have made it better by switching the orange and yellow to being, like, it's mostly orange and then, like, yellow spots everywhere. But, it is what it is, and I'm okay with it at this point. It's kind of just lingers on. Also, if you want to know, the Phoenix is also just called the fiery chicken. So I think after I found out more about that, it's like, well, that makes more sense now.
There you go.
Yeah, that's fair. The Cannoli would like to ask, what are your 3 favorite male and female wrestlers?
Male and female wrestlers. So my number 1 favorite male wrestler is Eddie Guerrero. I've always been a fan of Eddie Guerrero. I really enjoyed when he won No Way Out back in 2004, defeating Brock Lesnar for the WWE Undisputed Championship. It was just great. AJ Styles, I've been a fan of him since his TNA days, like probably around like 06, 07, when he was really hitting a stride in TNA. And Johnny Gargano, just one of the best like technical wrestlers in the world today. As for female competitors, Asuka is just a fantastic worker. There's who else? Becky Lynch was just revolutionized so much for the whole women's division. Female wrestlers is not my like big forte. So I will say the other one that I think I really enjoyed a lot when I was a bit younger was Winter back in TNA. Kaylee, or when she was Kaylee Burchill in WWE coming in TNA, I just really liked the gimmick that she had, like her controlling like Angelina Love. It was just something I liked.
Okay.
Nice.
Sounds good. So, let me see. Practice Site would like to know who are some rarely used competitors that you have yet to try but are planning to do so in the future.
Let's see, because that's really hard for me to kind of just go with it with that. Usually it's like, well, right now I have I have decks built for them, but I haven't really played them yet, so I technically haven't played them. So right now I have Matt Riddle built and Ken Broadway. Those two I have built but not played yet. Competitors that I haven't had built that I've been trying to think of something for. Let me think. Maybe like definitely like Great Oni Man is like one that is very underrated that I haven't tried yet.
Let's go.
King Carcosa has been one that I've been wanting to try for a long time. Those are ones that I can think off the top of my head that I have not played yet.
Okay. So, after that, he suggested you should probably have a trio with Pulio and Gran Gallo. And Young Allergy came in and said you probably should name it Fail Play.
Foul Play.
Yeah, so that seems like it would be
I will be
pretty
having
solid
a trio
idea.
coming out. I will be having a trio coming out, and it will be myself, the Old Skull and Bones, Amir Gaynor, and for his debut in the LFF, Mr. C, also known as for me, I call him Nick, but everyone knows him as Mr. C because no one can pronounce his last name.
Yeah, which is fair. I mean, I also know him as Nick, but yeah.
Yeah.
But Phenomenal One, and this is one of those hard questions. Well, you know, we need to talk about people. His hard question, and you have to have an answer: pineapple or sheep, and it has to be one or the two. We never let anyone waffle in that answer in this show.
I have never really been a fan of pineapples, so I guess I'm more of a sheep person. I love Matt Nealon. I just never been really a fan of pineapples.
Okay. Poor Matt. Young Allergy would like to know what kind of stipulation effect would you like to see added to the game?
Stipulation that would that's hard to say because that's like because there's always like different ideas that like an actual like wrestling match stipulation, I'm guessing.
Yes.
I think it would be very fun to have a blindfold match.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Have it because I think Nick and I, Mr. C, we've talked about having something similar where someone would roll the dice. If they have no cards in hand, we would draw a card. If it's not a card we can use, we have to pass and bury the card that we drew, and we have to keep going until we hit like a finisher or something like that.
Oh,
Okay.
boy.
Interesting.
Yeah, Nick and I have to Nick has gone through some silly ideas, but I think blindfold is definitely one I would love to kind of see. Like it's more of a random stipulation.
Right.
All right. The next question also comes from Nanook from the North. How do you feel about him putting you in the Pick Your Poison, otherwise known as a Paradise Lock?
I am always a fan. I am always okay with someone putting the Phoenix on the on art. I don't mind if people put Shadow Phoenix on the art. I'm just glad that my competitor is actually being shown in art, and I am glad that Nanook has definitely put me on putting me on a finisher art. I think he's the first to do that. I mean, people have put me on like the 1 through 16s, but not like an actual finisher, which I'm just really happy for.
Right.
Yeah. It's cool. All right. Evil Ed would like to know whether you prefer a pickle or a block of cheese.
Also, I'm not a particular fan of pickles. I'll eat pickles, but I'm not. If it would choose not to, I would choose not to. But I wouldn't mind having a pickle from like time to time. So I guess I'm more of a block of cheese type person.
Nah. I think it really comes down to, are you a fan of TJ or a fan of Evil Ed too? Because Evil Ed's cheese, and we all know
I'm going
TJ
with a
is.
more literal response.
Yeah, we all know that TJ Marconi is like the biggest fan of pickles. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
and for this holiday season, if you have a chance, make sure you get TJ a gift of pickles.
Mhm.
Anyway, he'll never hear me say that. Phenomenal One also asked the question, who is someone you haven't played, you want to play, which I think you touched on a bit with like King Carcosa and whatnot earlier.
Like,
Yeah,
I think he also may be saying like people I haven't played yet.
maybe.
Two?
Well, we might as well cover both bases.
Well, obviously I've already covered that part,
Yeah.
the competitors I've played. Let's see, people I haven't played against that I would love to play. That's also toughy. That's also a big toughie. That's a actually, because I played them too. I'm gonna probably pass on that because there's like a lot of people that I would love to play, but I have already played, so
Yeah.
there's not really a de facto person I haven't played. You know what? Actually, no. I don't think I've ever played Leo Law.
Okay.
Actually, no. I have played Leo Law. Actually, like it's a long time ago.
See, like, or he
It's
said,
like a hard question.
well, he meant it maybe only played once to make it
only
a
played
little
once?
to make it easier.
100%. The one person I've been wanting to play again is Kid Thunder.
Okay.
We played for Faction Wars, but that was like he was using. Even though I was like in the advantage in that type of match, I would love to play him when we actually pick our competitors instead of being what we were given.
Okay. Yeah, Phenomenal One's giving you a thumbs down and a boo. So on that answer, which is weird. You think he'd support his own faction mate, who
Yeah.
probably gets to get put
Also,
on more.
Kirk, we've played a lot too, so we last year we didn't play at all. This year we've played probably like 4 or 5 times. I've only played Kid Thunder in singles once.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, big guy. So while we take a little break from the questions there, you have any questions you'd like to ask?
Yeah, let's kick it back. You talked about starting, and where you started, and you came up. You got to do it at a big convention. Let's talk a little bit about your home store.
Okay.
The good old AU Homes out there,
Well,
or AU Bluebell.
I'm just gonna go AU.
Yeah. Just go AU because there's a lot of them.
Yes. Yeah, like AU Bluebell has kind of been my home type of deal because that is basically my game store. I basically have been running like the AU Bluebell brand for quite a bit of time because it's the closest thing to it. I mean, I get a lot of my training in through AU Bluebell, but I also love the people from AU Homes as well. Like, I mean, I love like the people that are there, and they're always being supportive to each other most of the time. I will reiterate that it's most of the time. I mean, it's just always good to kind of just see people that you haven't seen in a while. And I mean,
I'm
if
sure
it wasn't
a lot of
for
people
like,
understand that right now.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
if it wasn't for like people like, especially like Jeff Riley, Shady Jeff, like he basically was my like first rival in the game. So it was like him basically already in that like heel tier type deal, and me just being like a lower end, like building myself type of deal. It was like pretty surreal.
Right.
To me.
Is your store currently still? I mean, I know you're on the other side of the state from the big guy here.
Yeah.
Are you guys still able to hold in-person events right now, or are you on?
No,
no-go?
right now we're in a no-go. I've been talking with them. They've been saying one thing, like we're still waiting on stuff for things to set up. And the whole thing with that is that we want to keep ourselves safe.
Yep.
Their sales area is still open, but their play area is not.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And, everybody's trying to stay safe, but
Exactly.
we just want some human contact.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Phenomenal One has a question of any goals for 2021, personal or as a faction?
Personal or as a faction? I guess more so for a faction is kind of, especially when things start opening up again, I want to kind of like, not expand per se, but I want to like, establish a little bit more. Like, people know who like Amir is, like the old Skull and Bones.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he won the first CAC of the year
At Highlander Games.
at Highlander Games
Yeah.
with Belinda.
Mm-hmm.
It was like trying to establish more of my faction, because most people right now, with Proving Ground, they only really know me participating mostly in events.
Right.
Not really anyone else. Like, I've been the only person representing it, so I'm really hoping to open back up. Personally, for 2021, just like, I don't know, like play more games, maybe win a championship, maybe get another title opportunity. I don't know. I'd rather more care about the fun of it. If I do get a title shot, I'll gladly take it, but I'd love to just play more games and play people I haven't really played before.
Let's play off that, since someone else brought up factions.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about factions for a second.
Yeah.
And let's talk about Evie Fresh's decision to leave Impact.
Yes.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah. That is very important. So, for me, like, I've been talking with, when that whole decision was being made, I was very indecisive with it. I was like, I want to leave, but I don't want to leave. It was just like, I want to leave and kind of start something, but I don't want to leave with the people that I've been, that's been with me for such a long time. But the only thing like that really got me to click was like, I want to, because like Bombada, he basically brought me into Impact and kind of like grew me as like a player. And I wanted to do the same thing with my friends. I wanted to grow Amir. I wanted to grow Nick. I wanted to grow like people that didn't get much recognition in the community. Like, they've done well at events, but they really weren't doing much else besides that. They didn't really have a big established name to themselves. So I was like, I'm going to do this for them. It's not for me, it's for them. That was my whole decision on that.
And that's how we got Proving Ground.
Nice,
very nice.
And of course, the first time that Proving Ground was an actual faction, we won a CAC.
Hey, you can't go wrong there.
Yeah. And now you have a rival Proving Grounds with Simon Strauss doing his Proving Ground events.
I mean, his Proving Ground events, Simon Strauss's Proving Ground events, I was thinking about probably posting something about that, but I'm like, you know what? The Proving Grounds events is just like how I built Proving Ground.
Yeah.
Establish names that haven't been made. And that's all I can ask for.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
So at least it's in the same spirit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it may have been a hint of someone joining, but
Maybe. You never know who would join what at this point.
At this point, yeah.
Yeah.
You got people all over the place.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I mean, CCW has a promotion out there signing Vegas people, RBW signing New York people. That's
a
crazy
promotion
world.
versus the faction.
Yeah, well, yeah, but...
Yeah. Well,
I'm just
growing.
pumping general.
I'm growing. I'm growing CCW. We got a WWW division now, so I got to sign other talent. I dipped into Long Island. I dipped into Vegas.
Yeah.
Kentucky. I mean, what?
Yeah. But have you dipped into the Philadelphia area? I don't think so.
I mean, no one's reached out to my my secretary Jay Flash yet. So
Right. So the Babada would like to know, what are some of your favorite matches you've played?
Some of the favorite matches that I've played.
Yeah. Make sure you keep him on the list, or he'll probably interrupt and.
Oh no, I am definitely putting him on this list. Definitely favorite matches that I've had. myself versus Italia Babata for VGG1, the submission match. I mean, we built this story for such a long time, and this was just a fun match to just have for like everything for that. I also like the birdcage, even like the birdcage for the Underworld Championship. I was like, even though we went in with a plan, I mean, who could ask for a much better story than Michael Kirk going basically in a 2-1 disadvantage,
Right.
getting teamed up on and winning? Like, what can you say about that?
Yeah.
Let's see, what else? I think another fun match that I've also had like fun, like great matches with like Chris Pate. I think the one that I remember if I would put one match with Chris Pate, it would be the Easter event that I had with him. It was Unique versus X Royce. We went all the way to crowd meter 5, and it was just bonkers. Like, that was probably one of my most intense matches that I've had in this game. I mean, I've also had fun matches with Matt Nealon. I think for Matt Nealon match, it would probably be, I think it was one of the boss rod. It was a press 1P for matchup for third place. The matchup was to go into the final, and it was just a fun time all around. So those are what I think were my favorite matches to be in at that time. At this time.
Yeah. All right. I mean, yeah. Hopefully, you'll have more favorite matches in the future, because you don't want to peak this early. And
exactly.
Right.
yeah. All right. Any other questions you have, big guy?
Yeah. Well, let's we're jumping all over the place here, but let's talk about EV Fresh as a face. In the card fade world, there's not many of us faces.
No, there are definitely not. I mean, there are definitely been more faces growing.
Yes.
And I am definitely happy that there are more faces going into areas right now.
Yes, because I mean, just when I came in at the beginning of 2019, it was like almost everybody was a heel.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's just because people come off naturally like that.
I think one thing I think about, like, if people were trying to be heel, is that heels are much easier to portray in this game, because you could just be a bad guy and no one would really feel really bad about that back then. And then it's like, it's really much harder to be a face because, you're just trying to be the good guy, but everyone's a bad guy. So it's like, what can you do?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, most of the major factions.
A good blend of good guy and bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's hard because you also have a lot of the major factions that try on many occasions to double dip into the face heel spectrum. Like Crime Wave, for instance, is a heel faction that has some face members, and
like
it's
who? Like who?
Yeah. So you have this weird dichotomy where and obviously the separation of character from person. Like, Steve Rex, amazing person. The boss is a heel. And there's a lot of people who don't get that in the game too. And you have that with Impact too. Like, when Bombato was part of Impact, you have a guy who is 100% a face as a person in a heel faction, and then slowly became a face. And that's
also one of the reasons why I left Impact 2. It's like everyone was portraying me as a heel when I was a face, because because when we talked about Impact, like back in the day, we tried to make Impact a face faction, but everyone was just made it a heel. And it was just like everyone was just portraying the heel, and it was just they tried to be faces for a long time. It was only when the whole thing with me getting kicked out of Impact that really turned them into heels.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Anytime you have John Polverino in a faction, though, it's going to probably go towards to the heel side. I mean, to be fair, but yeah. So yeah, that, and even like, and then since most of the major issues in the league are like heel factions versus heel factions, it blurs the lines a lot in the Carfabe sense.
It
Like,
does.
So.
Right.
But, I mean, it's hard not to in a game that is also based on dice rolls. And, because, you know, whoever rolls the best does well. And sometimes it's going to be two bad guys going up against each other.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yep. Yep.
But, yeah. So, I mean, it's all, that makes it, the whole factions thing very interesting in faces. But, yeah, the game does need a lot more prominent faces in it.
Yeah. I mean, I would consider, like, the majority of the line, like, I think the only, like, face factions that are in this are the Line and Proving Ground. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of other places, they're more primarily heel more than face.
Yeah, everyone in
And
the
I'm
line
not
is a
counting
face.
Rust Belt
Yeah.
because Rust Belt is a promotion, not a faction.
Yeah, correct. And
Right.
yeah, though honestly, you can't really have a face Rust Belt with Funtime Bob of the higher class. But,
Yeah, that's true.
so yeah, that would all.
Further my point,
Yeah.
they are a promotion because
Yeah.
Bob is a part of a faction.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's one of those weird things, and like the higher class itself is in a weird sense, it's a heel faction, but because of their opposition to Impact, it falls into that weird like, well, we're doing good things even though we're the bad guys. Wait, what?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah. I mean, they have Kirk Polk, and as far as I'm concerned, Kirk Polk is a good guy.
Mhm.
So, yeah. Always support Kirk Polk. All right, and
Popped up on the
Yep.
screen there.
Yep.
So from the Generally Wong, if you can pick any 6 unaffiliated people to make a new faction, who would that be?
Unaffiliated. Okay.
That means you can't pick a mirror.
No. I mean, I think it would just be better if I would just say who I would want with, like, Proving Ground, because 6 people that I would want in a Proving Ground would make more sense. Like, people not affiliated. This is who I think, right now, my number 1 and 2 in my head are Chris Spade and Sean Loeb. They are definitely not affiliated with anyone. They are fantastic players, and they've definitely have proved themselves. And I'm like, they have definitely shown themselves a lot more. Another one I think would be Lance the Philosopher. He has definitely been building himself up.
Definitely a
ranks.
heel, though. Definitely a heel.
I'm just saying, like, it's the Proving Ground isn't going, like, you already been saying, like, there are heel people,
Yeah.
or face people in a heel faction. I mean, people are going to, there are going to be certain heels in certain factions. I mean, it's the Proving Ground is just to prove yourself in the game.
Yeah.
I would definitely go with the other Steve Korniak.
Yeah.
He's been someone that I've been really liking. I guess Babata, he says that he's not a faction. Babata, if you want to join Proving Ground, you can if you want to.
Oh, here we go. Look, this is breaking news here live on Tell Us About Yourself.
Yeah, right?
All
What
right.
is that?
Well, he can turn his
That was 4 or 5 if you count Babata.
Yep, and he can
Yeah.
turn his mic on if he wants to accept that position.
Right, exactly. And so another and then I'm gonna go with
I
a
refuse.
2. Okay, that's fair. And then I'm gonna go with a group of 2, which would be Jack and Scott Mulholland,
Okay. Very nice. Very nice.
because
Now-
they both have been definitely need some proving for themselves. So
Yeah. And I mean, and there's even debate, you know, like your first 2. Some people consider Chris Pate a heel and Sean Loeb a face. So
yeah, exactly.
It's like me and Moneymaker. If you look at it, one of us is a face, the other one's a heel. I don't know,
Exactly.
it just works.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know if Ricky Riot is a heel. Like, I know he gets portrayed that way because of other people's thoughts of how he does, but I think that's more of a jealousy factor, like portraying him as that than him himself.
I'm talking kayfabe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
yeah, so am I. But
Yeah.
like I don't think in kayfabe Ricky Riot is actually portrayed as a heel. I mean, card wise, I mean they use chairs and stuff, but
Oh yeah.
So,
But,
you
like,
know,
but
big
to
guy
be
uses
fair,
kendo sticks.
yeah. But even Edge and Christian were faces at points when they used concertos. So like
Yeah.
that's. So I would say in kayfabe, I wouldn't even consider because he's kind of Macho Man-ish character. So
Yeah.
that would kind of. It's not really clear, but I would say he's more leaning towards face than on the hero, but probably definitely a tweener. If
And
you-
I was gonna say tweener. Definitely
Tweener.
yeah.
Mhm.
All right, Young Hours, you would like to know who would you put on your Tornado tag competitor with Phoenix? Well, I think I know the answer to this one, but you know.
Well, obviously, if anyone would be if I was just gonna pick just like people that I know, I would definitely put Amir on that list, just
Right.
because Amir and I have been friends for a very, very long time, and the Old Skull and Bones in Phoenix, the Risen would definitely be a good name for that.
Mhm.
Like it.
Yeah, a good team. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what about with Shadow Phoenix?
I mean, with Shadow Phoenix, either the Mad One or Dr. J. Kill.
All right.
Just because it makes more sense story-wise.
Yeah. All right. So we got about 15 minutes left in the show. If people want to get their final questions in, and while they're doing that, Big Guy can ask a few more.
Yeah. So you know, we talked about what was your favorite event? Because I know you have traveled a bit.
Yeah.
You know, granted, we won't count this crap year of 2020, but what has been your favorite event to attend so far?
I'm going to separate this into big events and then CACs.
Okay,
Because
that's fine. That's fine.
big events, Grand Gathering 100%. It was just getting to see so many people that I have never seen before. Just being there was just a fantastic thing going, and it was just great to just see people that you haven't seen. Like I got to see you for the first time. It was like getting to see like Kirk Polka, getting to see so many people that were not in the area. Like so many personalities
Right.
in one area is just insane, and I'm so upset that we never got the Grand Gathering this year. Hopefully 2021 we get that. For favorite event in CAC wise, definitely Rumble at the Rumble #2. The one that Amir won, because you know it was just like it wasn't just about me. I was more so happy for Amir, someone
Yeah.
that as a really good friend of mine go not only to like top 32, top 16, top 8, top 4, but winning the entire thing is just crazy to me, because I'm like, this has been one of my closest friends in like the entire world, winning create a competitor event by himself pretty much, and it just makes me very happy for him.
Yeah, that was when I sat down across from him in top 16,
Mhm.
and we started playing. I think our match was crowd meter 4. We got
Mhm.
to crowd meter 4. You know, once Belinda starts getting all her stops back and getting her bonuses, it's like when he beat me, I said, "You better win this."
Yeah.
I said, "You better win this, Amir,"
And,
and
like-
he did. So that was great.
And not only that, he beat Dippy, Mike D, and Big Match Pete in a triple threat
in a
match.
triple threat. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what can I say about that? It's just one person against two faction people going, and him going on to win it is just crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a great moment.
Hmm
It was a fun event. So you know.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a very fun event.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's where I met the big guy.
Yeah.
That's right, baby.
Had to play him in a birdcage. I didn't listen to him, and we ended up all losing.
Yeah,
to
listen to me.
the undisputed underground. So
I
you
said
know,
We gotta take out Undisputed Underground. They're gonna team up on everybody. Nobody listened to me. They're like, get this guy back out of here. Get him out of here.
Also, I love that that Vinny Trepping won the won that thing.
Yeah,
That's how I do.
Yeah. Yeah, that was great.
If I mean, it's hard to look forward into next year because we don't know
We don't know what's gonna happen.
the landscape that we're gonna have.
Mm-hmm.
But if obviously, I think the answer would probably be Grand Gathering 3, obviously. But,
Grand Gathering 2,
well,
because we've only had virtual Grand Gatherings.
Well, yeah, you know what they call it. In reality, they should really call it Grand Gathering 3. But
Yeah.
if outside of the Grand Gathering, if there is one event that you want to happen next year in 2021, what would it be?
PAX Unplugged 2021.
Yeah.
That is without a doubt because PAX Unplugged is where I started,
Yeah.
and it's also just a fun event that we've been around. So
Mhm.
I want PAX Unplugged 2021 to happen.
Nice.
It's also a lot less travel.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I don't know what that is yet, so.
All right, Bombada has another question, so let's.
Okay.
Evie,
Yes.
I hear you talking a lot about Rumble at the Rumble 2 about how Amir did. How'd you do?
I lost in what was it, top 32 to Sage, and I lost to Bombada there again.
Again.
How many turns was that game?
Follow-up question.
I will be honest. I think it was like 3 or 4 turns.
Yeah.
No, I think it was 3 turns. I think I won 2. He stops one of my cards and then hits a finish roll for a 10.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it happens.
it does. It does.
Which is Apprentice, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, eventually, like the match that mattered was a submission match, and we know which one of the two won that one.
Well,
That's his only major win against me, and he'll hold on to it for the rest of his career.
I think
Never have
Bombada's
beat you.
like 0 for 12 in submission matches or something.
Something like that. Oh.
Yeah, 0 for 12, 0 for 90. It's close.
And just to play off yours, PAX that would have been happening.
It would have been
weekend.
happening
last
weekend.
That would have
happening
been
that
that would have been the big guy debut at PAX. But,
Yeah.
Yeah, like we were coming out, we had the hotels booked and everything, and then
Yeah.
all the COVID stuff. But
Yeah.
you know, it
is what it is. We got
is
to
what it
keep
is.
ourselves safe. As long as
Yep.
we keep ourselves safe, we can have these big events again.
Yes, and that's what we're all hoping for. I'm sure like you are too.
Mhm.
Looking forward to 2021 and hoping that we can rebound and get some live play. Because I know, like, when's the last time you had live play, Evie?
That would be March.
Okay,
Definitely
so-
like early March.
Yeah.
That was actually, I think it was AU Holmes was like my first like live event that I went to. But I mean, during that weekend, I won like 2 world championships. So before the pandemic, local championships. One from AU Holmes, one from Nirvana.
Nice, very nice.
Hmm.
Because there are new people in this community that have joined since March that
Yes.
haven't even don't even know local play.
Yeah.
No, it's
You know, 'cause
It's-
so
the best thing. Like online play can be so hard.
mhm.
But in live play, you can't really question anything about that.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just
You-
a different feeling.
I gotta say though, because I did play some in live play, I would say that what got me better was online play on Got Next and just whooping Bombada's ass all the time. That really was when I like.
Screw you, Fox.
But the Crime Wave's very own Matt Barone would like to point out that if things change, Highlander has huge plans for events they want to run bigger than Rumble at the Rumble 2. So you will
Nice.
have a chance
Rumble
for
at the Rumble
redemption
3?
there. Yeah, maybe, but they want to go bigger, so
Oh.
we'll see.
There's only one way to go bigger.
with the big Hey man, well that's where that crime wave money they'll pay to bring you in, man.
Hey,
They need the muscle.
I'll bring my protein shakes, and we'll be all right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, they'll definitely need their muscle, and it'll be a whole different landscape, I think, in there, because like the online play has really changed the community. Like,
Oh yeah,
and
100%.
like united people. Like, I mean, for instance, I'm in a faction with people that don't live anywhere near me.
Right.
Because we enjoyed the same things when we played online.
And
So-
like online play has definitely helped people like Chris Pate, Sean Loeb, and myself. Like Chris Pate was probably like if you talked about 2019, he was barely even mentioned. Sean Loeb was barely mentioned. I was barely mentioned. But ever since online play happened,
Well,
we-
Sean Loeb in 2019 had a pretty good year. He won.
Oh,
2
yeah.
CACs,
No, 100%.
so-
Mhm.
but compared to like other people at that time, it was like
yeah.
I mean, I was doing well at events too, but I didn't really get anything. And then online play happened. I win like 3 events this year,
Mhm.
and like it was like 3 events with like competitors that don't really see much play at. Well, except for Chloe Mike. Chloe Mike gets a lot of play, but I mean,
See, that's what I like about there being so much online. Sometimes sometimes it's a little too much.
mhm.
If you're trying to do everything, it's going to get on you, and you're just like you'll melt down. But what I like about online play the most is I can pull out a competitor I never used and say, hey, I'm going to use this competitor today because I've never used it, and it's
Mhm.
more open. Where if it's like you're going to all these tournaments that are live, you're not going to pull out let's say Lexi the Punk Rock Pixie and play her in a CAC.
Yeah,
You know what I
you
mean?
wouldn't really do that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Who brings rage to a CAC?
Me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we'll go back to the Grand Gathering because it was such a good time before Fox cuts us off here. Who did you use in the tournaments for that you participated in at Grand Gathering?
So for first Grand Gathering, I didn't want to use EC3 because I would definitely be instantly targeted. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna play Lawman Nick for the singles
Yeah.
event.
Nice.
I made top 32 for the event. Lost to Colin Simon. I think he made top 4 or top 8 during that event. So I can't be upset about that. And I think you already know, you know who I used during the tag event.
Why do I know who you used in the tag event?
Because you beat Joe Ritchie and I in top 4.
That was Ariel and
Witch Hunter General.
that's right, Rich Hunter General. That's right. That's right.
Most disgusting team that I will never play again. Like when we finished off against that match, because if that was like my favorite moment of Grand Gathering 2 was when you and Steve beat us and we had the hug of Grand Gathering.
Yeah.
That was definitely my moment of the event.
Mm-hmm.
Was the hug of you guys. I was like, I know that we just lost. I'm happy that I made it here. I want to go ahead and just give my support to you and Steve.
Yeah, it was great. It was fun, man. That was a great match. In all honesty, if you guys would have had new Ariel, you would have probably won. No, I'm just, I'm just saying. I think new Ariel was better than old Ariel. That's just.
I
my
agree
opinion,
too, but old Ariel with Witch Hunter General is just
Yeah, that was so.
stupid.
It was stupid.
100%. I mean, that got us a win over both the Dangerous Alliance and Corey Squared,
Yeah.
which was like, I think we were like the first people to beat Corey Squared in like tag or something like that, like big event,
Yeah.
which was crazy for me because I was like, man, I'm the one that defeated Corey Squared. That's crazy.
All right, the SRG boss wanted to pop in and say thank you, Evie, for always being a positive member of the community.
Not a problem. I mean, being negative is just not the way to go. Like,
Man.
Like, you got to be positive. You got to always look towards the future. Don't always dwindle on the past, because if you dwindle on the past, you're going to get yourself more negative. And going forward, you just got to think, I made these mistakes, I'm going to correct them. That's all that you need. Everything, like, all this, like, all these things have been going on recently. I've been mostly been disappointed because everyone is just like, da, 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 da. And I'm just like, guys, it's just it was one event, and you basically, like, I'm not going to dwell on too much because it would just bring more negativity. I'm just saying,
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
you always look towards the future and basically just take any opportunity that you can.
Take the next step, turn the next page. That's what I say.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
All right. Well, with that, we got 1 minute left in the thing, so we might as well do the drawing and then close it out. So let's see who wins Alien Invader that is donated by Ken Fouché. Let's see. Close the entries. And the winner is Practicite.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, congratulations, Practicite. I know that
Congrats.
chat says contact Dustin Garman, but you don't need to contact him. You can contact me, and I will forward it to Ken. Now,
There we go.
I mean, you obviously have a way to contact me pretty easy.
Yeah.
It's collusion, but collusion. All right, so I did want to thank both of you for being on the show. Thank you for being a wonderful guest, Evie.
Yeah, not a problem at all. I'm glad that glad to be a part of the show.
Yep. And thank you, Big Guy, for coming in helping me out here.
Hey, anytime, man. You know I got everybody's back.
Yep. Yeah, co-host of the year, man.
That's
Super
right,
co-host.
host of the year, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, and don't forget, I'm booking all week, man. Tomorrow night, the Big Guy's hosting Talk of the Universe, baby.
Oh
man.
man. Oh man.
Biggest show of the year, but on the biggest party night of the year.
That's right, biggest party night of the year, baby.
Well, not in Pennsylvania anymore, but
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
which we are all Pennsylvania guys on the show.
Yeah.
Which
We are, yes, we are.
I think that is
It's the
literally
Pennsylvania special.
yeah, that's literally the first time that all three people on the show have been from the same state.
That's right, baby.
Crazy.
All right. So thank you again, thank you guys, and thank you everyone for watching. It was great, and we will see you next week. And I actually don't know who's supposed to be on the show next week because I don't usually do scheduling. So, but I will find out. So it'll be a surprise for everyone, and maybe even for the person who's on the show.
Yeah, right?
So we'll see y'all next time.
Bye, guys.
See ya.